Hi everyone, welcome. I hope you're all well out there. This week I am going to make a piece based upon one of the tests I did last week. If you haven't seen those tests, there's a link in the description, so you might want to go and have a look at that first. But this is based upon, I think it was the third one, and that's the one where I had some clear fused on top of some vanilla, not turquoise, and it produced a reverse sort of dilution and a shadowing effect within that little, I think it was a coaster. So the piece we're going to do is based upon that with a little bit of extra. So if you're interested in something like that, hang around and we'll get right into it. Okay, materials first. Remember, all of this is Bullseye 90 COE. So any schedules I give you, make sure you adjust them for your 96 if you're using 96 and your kiln. Now, what we're using today is 1116 turquoise and 0137 French vanilla and some clear. The turquoise is 3ml, the clear is 3ml, and the vanilla is just coarse frit. Now, as far as equipment is concerned, the only thing you're going to need is some way to dam this up. So I'll be damming it up with what are cut up pieces of an old kiln shelf. You'll need obviously thin fire to fire it on, or whatever you use for a shelf separator. I won't be doing any slumping with this, so no need to use any molds or boron nitride spray. So the design is very simple. It's based upon that test I did last week, which is a little coaster I made. It had French vanilla on clear and then just glass strips on top of that. And that gave a recessed look. It added some shading and it was something I really like. So we're going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm going to have turquoise and I'm going to put the clear on to get that shading. And then to give it a little bit more interest, I'm going to put some of this vanilla coarse frit on to give, because that'll go white, as well as we'll get the reactions, just to give it a little bit more interest in this final piece. So I'll be laying up these little pieces here into some sort of geometric pattern, probably mainly horizontal, vertical lines. Might introduce a couple of angles, but yeah, that's just going to be me using up scrap to come up with some sort of pattern, leaving enough space between each one to put a little bit of frit. Now I'll be damming this up to restrict the flow out with all this glass on there. We've got 3ml here, 3ml here, and then 3ml clear on top. So it's going to end up thicker than our normal 6ml, and I want to stop as much of that flow out, so I will dam it up. And later on, that probably means that I've got to do a little bit of cold working on here to finish the piece. Now, don't forget your safety, everyone. Make sure you wear safety glasses. Don't want any glass in those in your eyes. And when you're using boron nitride spray or anything like that, make sure you wear a mask, and especially when you're cleaning up things like thin fire paper. And something else I should say is, be very careful around your kilns. I had a little stumble the other day near one of the kilns that was on, and thinking about if I had stumbled a little bit more, I would have ended up falling on top of the hot kiln. So definitely be careful around your kilns. So first thing, do a little bit of glass cutting. Sorry about that. So there we go, it's all laid up. I'm not sure how the turquoise is going to go. I'm a little concerned that the shadowing won't be as dominant as it is on the French vanilla, because this is a darker piece of glass, so it's a little bit of an experiment. We'll just see how it all goes. So I'll get that in the kiln now and we'll take it up to a full fuse. By the way, I'm hoping that the vanilla is going to introduce some white into this, which will make it a bit starker. I expect everywhere where the clear is to move a little bit as the glass moves around. So hopefully we're going to end up with a really nice organic looking piece. Okay, here we are. It's all fused up. I think it's pretty good. I like it. It's if I hold it in the right angle there, you can see the shadowing effect. I think I would have preferred more frit so that it really highlighted the diluted areas there, so it looked a bit more like a pond. And maybe the reverse, maybe vanilla for the main colour and frit, turquoise frit on top. But I am still very happy with that. There's pretty much nothing to do on the edges, so I won't have to go through a fire polish or anything like that. So pretty much all I've got to do now is put a couple of bump-ons on the bottom and it'll be ready for the gallery. Now, don't forget that you can use any colour at all here. You don't have to use these colours, and you don't have to use reactive colours at all. So experiment a bit. I'm sure you'll find some really nice combinations. Don't forget also, if you like this, hit the like button for me. And if you've got any comments or any questions, and I'd really like to know what you think, put your questions in the comment section below, and I will answer them for you. By the way, here's a really interesting effect that I think you're going to love. Watch. Now, how could you use that in a project? Well, I really like that piece. I think it's turned out really nice. It's pretty much as I expected. There's nothing really too surprising there. A little bit of surprise that there's not more coal working needed on the edges. But I think all I need to do is just take off a couple of little bits with a diamond pad, and we're good to go. Just as I said, just put a couple of bump-ons on the bottom and it can go in the gallery. So I think the thing to take away from this is that doing those tests like I did last week can lead to all sorts of things. This was based upon just one part of that test. And yes, that test wasn't exactly new. I've made other pieces that do show shading similar to that. But just by doing that test, it just inspired me to make this piece. So I encourage you to do tests all the time, if you've got the glass to do it, of course. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll give you some inspiration. Don't forget, a couple of suggested videos up there, subscribe button right there. Don't forget the notifications. And until the next time, I'll say bye for now.